Hi, in this video, I'll be showing the mitigation and prevention method for my first attack, the FTP backdoor command execution. I'll be showing this in three parts. First, I'm going to show how I'm able to detect this incident, and second, I'm going to show how I'm going to mitigate the attack, and third, I'm going to show that my mitigation won't affect the FTP service. So looking at the network topology, we can see that our data center server over here, the attacking machine over here, and in the middle we can see the DMZ server. I'll be setting up my SIEM at the DMZ server, but I won't be setting up the firewall at the DMZ server, which is usually the case. But instead, I'll be setting up my firewall at the data center itself, because we won't want to affect the operations for the web server. So going into the virtual machine, we can see that the attacking machine is currently attacking the data center server, and a command shell session is currently open. If I type into IPA, you can see that we are inside the data center server. Now, when I go into the DMZ, which I already have the Wireshark open, we can see that the Wireshark is able to detect the incident. We have our attacking machine IP address and our data center IP address and the port that the attack is using. So right now, we are going to save as FTP attack. And then we are going to, because the file is saved in root, so we need to go into root dash, oh sorry, uh, ls, and we can see the FTP attack pcat file. So right now I'm going to move the pcat file into non-root. Move FTP slash. I'm moving the FTP file because my SIEM is saved on the user. Yeah, sorry, it's saved as user. So exit and ls, and we should see that we have the pcat file. Yep, we have the pcat file. So right now, in order to ingest the pcat file into our SIEM, which I'm using Suricata, I'm going to just type I uh, just S and followed by our pcat file. We need to sudo and we wait for the results. And right now we have the results. So if you notice here below, we can see that there's an alert and we have the date. We have the attack information over here, as well as the IP address and the port number that the attack is using. And this is how I'm going to detect this incident. In the second part, I'll be showing how I'm going to mitigate this attack. However, in order to mitigate this attack without affecting the FTP service, we must see where does this vulnerability lies. If we study the CVE information deeper, we will see that the vulnerability affects an unknown code block on component service port 6200, and they also recommend that mitigation using firewall, which is to block TCP port 6200. So let's try this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into our metasploitable and I'm going to set up the IP tables, and I'm going to use this command iptable-a input. -a input is the chain command, which is incoming, and -p for the protocol, which is TCP, and --d port 6200, which is the destination port, and to drop the packet. And then after that, we will use iptable-l-v to see that our settings has been configured. So right now, going into the virtual machine, we can see our metasploitable, which is our data center server, and the IP address 10.10.11.19. Now, let's go ahead and configure our IP tables. IP tables A P port 6J. So now our IP tables have been set. Let's see our settings. And we can see here that our settings has been configured. So right now, let's try the attack. Yes. And export. Mhm. Yep. And we can see that the no session was created, which also means that the attack failed to occur. And that is how we attack. And that's how we mitigate this attack. Now that I have successfully mitigated the attack by blocking port 6200 and not 21, let's move on to the third part of this video. Let's ensure our FTP service is still able to function. I'll be transferring a file from my DMZ to the data center using FTP. Going into the VM, we can see that our data center IP tables settings is still set and is blocking this port. Now let's go to our DMZ. Let's create a file. Here. And let's put a message there, shall we? Hmm. And let's can see that the file's been created. So now let's copy this file. And then let's start our FTP. But before that, let's make sure our FTP is running. Service FTP status. Yep, it's running. So let's start. Let's do the FTP from our DMZ to our data center. So FTP, our data center IP address 10.10.11.19 and login MSN in and login successful. So let's send the document over. Okay, it's been sent. Let's go to our metasploitable and let's see if we have received it. Unless GPA 4.0. Oh, it's already over there. But let's just enter just to see that it's been successfully transferred. And yep, we are able to see the message in our metasploitable. And with that, I'll conclude this video.